Guys, so we have an urgent information coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. So right now, US, Ukraine, and Russia discussing a peace plan. Meanwhile, in the Caribbean, we're about to see a huge biblical war. US flexes military muscles at Venezuela. Alright, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to help and support the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Once again, thank you so much for your support. Notifications were not sent out for this video. YouTube only sends out 3, and I just post this one 2:45 p.m. So my next notification will be 5 Eastern time. So this one here, you guys did not receive the notification. Also, reports are coming out that if we hit Venezuela, oil prices will hit the roof. All right, so they're talking about oil prices, gas prices, everything could go up. And yeah, so we're gonna see what's going on with this one here. U.S. military aircraft are operating near Venezuelan airspace, according to tracking data shared by open source intelligence analysts online, as the U.S. president is ramping up pressure on Nicholas. Now, last night I did post a video. The link will be in the comments box. There were B-52s, not 1, not 2, not 4 B-52s. And there were F-18s out there. I don't know how many F-18, but there were multiple F-18s. There were a spy plane, I think close to Guyana, and Essequibo, not too far from Venezuela. So there was some stuff going on around 11 p.m. Eastern time. The fighter jets are operating from the USS Gerald Ford aircraft carrier, performing training exercises to test Venezuela's air defense capability. The war zone cited a U.S. officials as saying. Now remember, guys, Venezuela, they do have some aircraft. All right, so they have some F-16 that we sold to them back in the 80s. All right, so those F-16s are still some really good stuff. The only problem is a lot of their stuff is not functioning, and they're trying to get the pieces for those aircraft, but they got hit with sanctions. All right, so those sanctions is really hurting those military aircraft parts. The U.S. is engaged in a counter of the gang operation to advance President Donald pledged to secure our border, combat the gangs, and stop the flow of deadly drugs into our country. Tommy Pigott, deputy spokesperson of the U.S. State Department, previously told Newsweek. Nicholas is not the legitimate leader of Venezuela. He's a fugitive of American justice who undermines regional security and poisons the sleeping giant citizens. Wow. All right, Tommy, take it easy. Tom, take it easy, man. You're gonna. It's true what he says. It's true what he says. I don't see Nicholas being the legitimate victory leader. I mean, what happened last year? You guys saw what happened last year. I mean, it seems like I forget the name of the party, but they were winning, but something went down. Something went down. I mean, there were videos of boxes filled with VOTES. It was taken away, and I mean, it was like 2020. You guys know what happened here in 2020. All right, so for those of you that still believe Joe received 80+ million, VOTES, is all baloney. They're still investigating 2020. The U.S. military forces are increasing deployment to the Caribbean in support of U.S. Southern Command operations, and the president stated priorities to disrupt illicit of the gang trafficking. Now, Defense Secretary P. Hexeth announced Operation Southern Spear, expanding its anti-you-know-what drug campaign last week, nearly 2 months after the U.S. began carrying out strikes on alleged of these gang boats in the region. However, the moves are largely seen as directly targeting Nicholas' regime. I do believe that we're about to see a biblical war here, but before that happens, they're trying to end Ukraine and a peace and end that war. See, right now they're trying to get that thing settled before Thanksgiving. So they gave Zelensky a timeline, a deadline. End it. If not, we're not going to send you money. We're not going to send you equipment. We're not going to help you out. You got to accept this. You took a loss, all right? You're not going to win. You're not going to beat them. You're not going to, gain those territory back that were annexed. So I believe the U.S. is trying to rush this thing because we have this biblical war. This one here that I do believe will be the next one. And I did post a video about Mexico. There was a lot of information that supposedly U.S. troop invaded Mexico, but that's not true. I mean, I wouldn't say invasion, but they did step on their territory, which is Mexico Beach. And they placed this sign, a warning sign about not trespassing this territory. And so you had the Mexican citizens, they were out there in the beach and they saw the sign and they called the Mexican police and they came and removed the sign. The aircraft flying near Venezuelan airspace included this is the one that we talked about last night, the F/A-18 Super Hornet and the R-135 Rivet and multiple B-52 bombers. Now, Nicholas publicly called for peace amid intensified U.S. military buildup. Now, I did talk about that last night, guys. And again, notifications were not sent out. Hopefully, one day this platform will send out more than 3, because I post like 4 or 5 videos on each channel. And we don't get that much notification. That's why our views is like really low. It says here, in a recent interview with One America Network, P. Hexeth insisted Nicholas is not a legitimate leader, accusing him of lying to the previous U.S. administration about leaving office, participating in the operation, and being indicted. Now, he added that the U.S. commander-in-chief is not messing around, and nothing is off the table. At least 80 have been taken out in U.S. strike on 20 alleged boats in the Southern Caribbean and Eastern Pacific since early September, including Venezuelan nationals. So what people are saying? Well, the war zone quoted a U.S. official saying Thursday, they are normal operation training flights from the aircraft carrier USS Ford and platforms performing training exercises. They are also testing Venezuelan sensors and responses, and it is part of the pressure campaign to show U.S. capabilities in the Caribbean. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told One American Network in an interview Thursday, "We know exactly who we are targeting, why we are targeting them, what they are carrying. The U.S. can track and hunt cells and these gangs better than any country in the world." So what happens next? Well, the U.S. official designation of the Venezuelan-based gangs as a foreign organization will take effect on November 24. Wow. The U.S. says the gang is headed by Maduro, raising the prospect of possible U.S. strikes of Venezuela. Now, pay very close attention to this. These are very important time frames here. So Donald gave Zelensky November 24 or the 27th to accept the peace plan and end the war. Meanwhile, the U.S. designations of these Venezuelan gangs as a foreign T organization will take effect on the same day. So they're giving Zelensky, you got until November 24 or the 27th to accept this peace plan. At the same time, the U.S. will recognize the gangs out there in Mexico and Venezuela as the T organization. Okay, give me a second here, guys. that's the end for that news article. But I want to pull something up really quick. I know there was something about the oil prices could skyrocket, and that is something that I really need to share with you. Um, yeah, give me 1 second here, guys. I actually apologize. I should have saved it too. It was a very busy morning. I'm doing all these research, and I save a lot of news article. But yeah, I think I kind of closed it. I truly apologize, guys. It happens to us YouTubers. Um, yeah. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, so it was a very important news too, guys. Very important news. Um, Also, there was a fighter jet crashes at Dubai Air Show in India, and my condolences and prayers to the families and friends that lost their loved ones. I seen a video, and that was a very sad event that took place. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. But again, this huge consequence when it comes to striking a foreign nation, especially one of the biggest nations when it comes to oil. It could lead to high gas prices. And this is the one we talked about yesterday. The U.S. troop accidentally invade Mexico Beach. So I wouldn't say invaded, but give me a second here. This is a update that's coming out right now. Give me a second. American troops installed signs on a beach in northeast Mexico declaring the area restricted by the U.S. Department of Defense. It has been reported. Now, a video on social media appears to show Mexican Marines removing the sign purportedly at Playa Baghdad, close to where the Rio Grande River flows into the Gulf of Mexico. The sign warned that unauthorized access or photographing was not permitted, and that if you are found here, you may be detained and searched. I did post that video. That video is trending, by the way. It just gained like 3,000 views in 1 hour. So, give me a second here. Let me just... And I want to thank every single one of you for sharing that video. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Give me a second here. So it's almost at 8,000 views. Wow. Thank you so much for that, guys. So that's the one. It's almost at 8,000 views. Earlier this morning, it was 4,000 views. Now it gained like another 4,000. So again, this is the video right here. You know what? I'm gonna leave this link in the comments box if you guys want to check it out. All right. So this is all the information, and when it comes to, give me a second here. So here's some of the so yeah, they removed the sign. The question is, was it U.S. soldiers, or was it someone pretending to be U.S. soldiers? The Newsweek contacted the Pentagon by email outside of regular hours, working hours. So yeah, they removed the sign. Something strange. Something strange going on there. So I'm gonna leave this link in the description box. I'm gonna go with the next video, guys. I got 8 more videos coming up, but I want to thank every single one of you for your support, either to Cash App, Patreon, or PayPal. Thank you again for your support. I really appreciate it, guys. And thank you so much for the super chat. If you guys are watching this live, and again, if I don't respond, it's because right now I'm making a video while you guys are watching this one here. So thank you again for your support, guys. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Till next time later. Peace.